to start round 2 shortly. I think there's a black cooler, and I can't see what else. But it looks like they mentioned mirror, so maybe it's Devious cooler. Who knows? We should find out soon.
I hope so. Check the chat.
Hello. I think we're back.
Different problem. Why wouldn't there be?
Yay!
My PC is alive and OBS crashed, so that's always fun.
This is literally the first draw.
Yeah.
Nothing else has happened.
Which is good. Lorraine, keep an eye on the chat for sure and get feedback from people. But so yeah, we'll begin this match, hopefully without technical issue.
Yeah.
Justin McBride with Devious Cooler versus Jordan Bartholomew, also with Devious Cooler. Not a match that I'm excited to see necessarily. It's fine, but, you know, Devious Cooler is such a meat and potato deck at this point. You see it all the time. I was at least glad to see what I assume was only one of a handful of restored Gohans in the last match. So, like, the mirror isn't really that interesting. I'm really excited to see what happens in Awakening once Masteries rotate out. I can't wait to see how things shake out when stuff like Devious and Red Enraged and all that are out of the environment and people have to pivot to something new. New is always good.
There's talk in the chat of a tag 16 and add up 19.
All right. That's what see, that's what
I would rather see that than a mirror.
That's what I want to see. Bring on the weird.
Yeah.
Jordan contemplating a pass, probably? Yeah. Do you have a defensive burst?
No. Lap. Spear.
Justin just plopping his hand out of the table.
Also a defensive burst.
Right. Say
Did you have 2
very
spheres?
similar
I
draw.
might have drawn 2 spheres.
He's discarding one, so if he's holding a sphere, then
Hard to tell. Villainous energy, something or other. Another defense.
right. But Jordan drew a command, so he's in the lead now.
Yeah.
Whoever has more anger is winning. Is still really the name of the game early on in this matchup. I do like that they both drew visitings.
Yeah.
It's very poetic.
They rhyme off of each other.
That's right. It's like the
stanzas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Star Wars movie. I'll never not make that joke.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that Red Letter Media, is that what it is?
I think so for those episode
good.
1 reviews. Jordan passing again, which is not really surprising at all this time. Because he wants to put that back. I'm a little surprised he'd rejuve the defensive burst over the swipe, but maybe he just wants to visit for it, which, you know, that's fine also. Not sure which card. Did you see what he kept, like what he actually held in his hand?
I think it's that Villainous Energy, the one with.
Sure.
There are 15 on it.
Energy Ball? Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, you're right. That is correct.
Villainous Powerball.
Yeah, I would have switched those, probably, if he was theoretically interested in that card or the swipe, because I'm guessing that's why he's leaving the swipe in the discard is to visit for it. Maybe. I would have put the Powerball in the discard and kept the swipe, just because the swipe's a little more.
Reactive.
Yeah, and it's styled, so even if you choose not to visit, you can bank it for the mastery a little easier than you can the Powerball. Justin draws stuff. Ball 7.
Swipe, or,
resistance?
No,
a knee catch. Okay.
A swirl. And his own.
Right, his own.
Villainous Powerball. The people's champion. Villainous Powerball.
So he'll keep the Powerball. Ball 7 will go back. He's going to rejuve the knee catch, I guess? Yeah. And again, I'm assuming that's the same thing. Like, I'm assuming he didn't rejuve the swirl because it's probably his primary visiting target.
Or potentially...
you could always get the sphere. Yeah.
That was the card I couldn't think of. Now he's got a resistance to swipe. And
Say that. That's a defensive-ass hand.
Defense.hand.
And a defensive hand that you would think he might be able to build some anger from. So I could see entering into a very like mundane combat and just playing real safe on this.
Because he could still visit and pitch something if you wanted, like...
Sure.
'Cause he's got a dash in discard. I mean, everything else is blocks he has in his hand.
This was going to be a slow game anyway, but with 2 visitings on the table, I predicted it will be even slower than usual. Nobody's going to want to... Yeah, nobody's going to want to pull the trigger. Like, it's entirely possible that we could go without a combat until someone hits level 2. Like, I hope it doesn't come down to that, but I could totally believe that they'll just both try to pass out until they draw at least one more command
Oh god, camera.
in Jordan's case. Because if Jordan gets a second command, then he can enter on any anger to level.
Yeah.
So that's the situation he wants to be in. And, you know, Justin would probably want to be in the same situation, so he's about to be building towards that right now.
It's literally just like a mirrored arms race right now.
Yeah.
Command.
Who can get to level 2 and ultimately level 3 faster?
More or less.
So we'll shuffle up Justin's first command, Juva Swirl. I don't know. I'm not all about that. Sorry, Jordan, but like a full shuffle for like a single shuffle action where he didn't even tutor, like, considering that this is the stream game, I might even just ask the judge to cut or something. But like that takes a lot of time. So I hope that's not the norm for every single time Justin's deck state changes. A cut would suffice.
We've got
Jordan passing here.
We've got some on-site.
Both Powerballs?
On the,
yeah, both Powerballs in discard. He'll rejuve one.
we have some on-site updates from the hand cam.
Okay.
The wide lens shot is not working like he wants because he did do some
Sure.
modifications
Yeah, and
in
again,
between
like
rounds
that stuff happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We
it's
got to
not-
stream.
It's not your fault at all.
Yeah, don't feel bad,
Yeah.
Brian, or whoever else might be involved.
I'm
like
pretty sure. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's Brian responding.
technical difficulties abound.
Oh yeah, we've had
just
our,
the nature of
had our fair
the
share.
thing. That was a super quick pass. We've had 2 more passes since you last.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Justin drew some stuff I didn't even quite see, and then Jordan just drew a handful of blocks and pitched them.
Well, like when we do our hand cams, we do it over the shoulder, just for stuff like that. Like it's a little, it's definitely, you can see the cards clearer with these in front of them on the table shots, but then you get stuff like that where it's just like
Yeah, it's
slightly
all
too
right.
low.
It's all like gains and losses. Like you get that, but then it's harder to like.
It's also,
It varies more where people hold their hands, and it varies
you don't
more
always
based
have
on the
room
sizes of each
for
player.
it,
Yeah.
and, yeah. There is no answer.
Streaming's hard.
I
Justin is
appreciate
entering.
it.
We have a combat. My
They
God.
definitely do. They're very helpful.
Uh,
Y'all are doing your best.
Right.
I applaud that.
Justin enters. Visit for Swirl. He's going to put back. Looks like he's considering that chin kick. Nope. Was that another swipe that he put? I couldn't quite tell what he.
Yeah, it was really hard to tell.
He put back. But his current hand is swipe, chin kick, stare down, and swirl, which is A-okay.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Double visiting city. Getting the dash, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want that anger.
And so I can't see why Justin wouldn't lead on either the swirl, probably naming that since it's a guaranteed hit, or the stare down, because leading on stare down is a super useful thing to do. And in fact, that will open the rest of Jordan's hand up for other things that he could swirl. So probably stare down first. Yep.
Choke, dash.
Yeah, I don't love Jordan taking the dash there with his own visiting. Like, I super would have loved for him to mirror Justin and take a stare down himself. Or even a swirl if he's got one in there. But, like, that really didn't put Justin on notice in any way at all.
I mean, unless he dashes, I would just name choke. Give him 2
sure.
cards.
Probably one. I'll say, like, my guess would be that Jordan might throw one out so that it's a little less enticing. Because, like, yeah, like you're saying, I can't imagine.
If he doesn't lead on the dash, just okay.
Yeah, I'll say he's gonna. Yeah. He's almost certainly leading on the choke, so that he doesn't get 2 guaranteed dead cards when Justin inevitably swirls. And now he could totally name anything else that's in Jordan's hand. Like, he's not going to be in love with taking 2 chokes early game, but he can totally, like, survive it, and, like, it won't be a deal breaker.
I mean, if he's just trying to do the anger game, like, just get rid of dash. Like,
and
it could get pitched for the mastery. Naming stop.
Okay, so he's going for he's prioritizing his own anger above everything else, because he knows that this is going to hit through for 2 anger. And now he knows that his chin kick will net whatever his current anger total is when he throws it. So yeah.
Yes, the stream should be up. We've got
people saying it's down.
one person is saying Bearded Collectibles is saying that the stream is not up, but it seems to be up. I don't know.
Let us know in the chat. Ask in the chat too in case it actually is down. Second choke coming in.
Brian says it looks fine for him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's showing. I just brought up the window for a second.
Okay, maybe refresh on your end, because it looks like we're up in general. Second choke hits through clean. He may have missed the crit there. In fact, I think he did. I think Jordan missed the crit on his second choke, which is kind of a big deal right now.
We've got other confirmations that it's working.
Okay, good. Yeah, if you're having trouble, I guess refresh.
Which is a fickle mistress.
Yeah, I guess attempt to refresh at your end. Maybe try a different browser. And yeah, Justin is going in. So yeah, he's got 3 anger. He's poised to level up. He hit the other 2. He hit, I guess, 2 of Jordan's commands, which is a big fucking deal in terms of getting an advantage in the mirror.
Yeah, it had been Bearded Collectibles said that mobile and computer weren't working, but it sounds like even Brian Valdez has it up.
Okay.
He says he's got 1 million tabs open.
All right, good. So yeah, I expect Justin to pull ahead probably to a pretty serious degree this turn. Maybe not even in terms of life deck at this point, but even if he doesn't, if he's at level 2 and Jordan isn't when this combat ends,
here's the dash.
He will be in the driver's seat.
Ally search.
Yeah, which we don't know if Justin runs allies. I guess we're about to find out. Okay, Justin said there's no allies, so Jordan's gonna finish a look. Like, he's gonna eyeball what Justin's options are and then hand that back to what I'm assuming will be Justin leveling up to level 2. I would guess he's either gonna throw that chin kick or maybe cooler power. Like cooler power away the swipe or something, just to push even harder in this turn. He could mastery. He still has the information about the rest of Jordan's hand, so the world is sort of his oyster for the rest of the turn. And again, this whole combat would have been different, like probably fundamentally different if Jordan had grabbed his own stare down with his visiting. So all he really got for an exchange was currently not enough anger to level and like a physical that did damage that doesn't matter.
This is still the dash.
Yeah, he's still just looking through his life deck, which I think he's probably writing some stuff down. And again,
yeah,
like
he has a notepad off screen.
Yeah,
I saw it earlier.
I don't know about about this in terms of like we're mid-game and it's like a failed life deck shuffle, like I don't know about actually being able to take notes with the deck in hand at that point, but that's not up to me. That's up to the floor judges. So, yep, there's a mastery. In fact, Jordan only had one card left, so that was definitely the right play to make there.
What was it, card?
The card, sure, but it meant that now Jordan cannot mastery, because I don't believe he's mastered yet this turn.
I'm pretty sure no one is mastery.
Yeah. And Jordan would have still been a card up at the end of this combat if he had kept that, like even not being able to use it. So he definitely wants it out of his hand. And yeah, here comes the advantage. So Justin levels to 2 with the chin kick, cooler powers to plink some additional damage. And he is in excellent shape going into Jordan's next turn. So Jordan kind of up against the wall here a little bit. Luckily, he's still got anger within range of leveling. So if he's got an active anger in hand, I would at least strongly contemplate a combat. Because if he does fall behind, like if Justin's able to lower his anger out of leveling range within the next action that he takes, like this game is going to be that much harder to win ultimately. And he'll be at even-handed, like he won't be at hand disadvantage if he enters this turn since they're both coming in empty.
Yeah.
He'll be parity with Justin's cooler power if he secures that level. But he does not have an active anger. He's got a passive knee catch anger, so if Justin throws, cooler's power or some other physical, he could level that way. But so that kind of makes this decision even harder. Because I still wouldn't say it's wrong to enter here, but I would have said he definitely should have if he could secure that level. And now he's got to think about it a bunch. And we're getting a pass. Rejuve swipe. That makes a ton of sense. He did keep the knee catch for, the theoretical anger that it will provide in the next combat. Justin draws, drops power up, drops ball 7. But I don't know that Justin needed the board advantage as well at this point in the game to truly be ahead, but now his lead will be secured that much more. And yeah, stacking that Powerball. So he is super putting Jordan on notice now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, relatively defensive hand. I like that play. I think that's just fine for the state of the game right now. And Justin will pass into a turn that I'm assuming Jordan would trade almost anything probably at this point to get a game guaranteed anger in his top 3 cards. But he might hit a bunch of weird dead draws too and then have to make a really tough call. Let's see what we get. I can't quite make out what he's packing.
No way to see from this angle.
There's a power up, so he did find a board card. Again, he has to attack. If he were to attack, he has to attack into a pretty good hand.
Yeah.
But honestly, the fact that it's so defensive isn't that bad for him if he were to come in at a disadvantage.
More blocks.
Yeah, I say. Yeah, that's absolutely a draw that Black Cooler is capable of. It's a very defensive deck, and it runs enough dead draws that, you're going to hit him relatively frequently, and that's not what he needs. That's not the position that Jordan needs to be in right now in terms of the stuff that he's sucking up. And yeah, Justin's doing the thing that he planned to do, and he's executing on it. And
they're both doing it. Time, power.
Oh, and he kept the time, which I actually don't love, because now he's even forfeited the anger that he could have gotten from the knee catch. I don't know. I would have thought it didn't seem like he thought about keeping the time that much, and I can see why players make those decisions. But I would have strongly mulled over what to keep in that hand, especially since he knew what Justin's hand was. He knew that his hand wasn't very aggressive. Okay, so we'll throw a physical for some anger. Yeah, that hand is junk. Yeah. 12-4 not going to be consequential in his next turn, should he choose to drop it. Here comes a cooler power. I think Justin's just contemplating a mastery to reduce his hand size. And mill the bottom two. Because, yeah, he's kind of done now. Which, again, you know, he forced a draw from Jordan. He peeled cards off the top. He rejuvened a couple with Cooler's power. The time was totally inconsequential to him, really, for Justin for that combat. Because Jordan didn't get the level he needed. So he pushed his lead a little bit.
Zone ball 7, a wall breaker.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, that's fine. Like, a finger block probably would have been fine there, too. Because the wall breaker is not going to be... As long as Justin's at an actionable cooler level, meaning basically 2 or 3, the wall breaker is pretty inconsequential right now. So, like, it's not a super high priority for Jordan to attach that thing. So I might have kept the finger block there in an effort to be defensive and guarantee... Yeah. Well, finger block, you have stages.
Is this, oh, yeah,
but it's still defensive. It would still stop Cooler's power, because he knows that Justin's going to be throwing that every turn.
Yeah.
It's still masteryable where wall breaker is not, so it gives him options there. Yeah, I don't love that choice. Not like a game-breaking decision, but it's one of those micro actions that, like, you build up enough of those, and they can be the difference between winning and losing
I mean,
sometimes.
You've got another one now, so...
Sure, it all worked out. Justin leading on cooler power, and again, he would have had to take that to the dome if he hadn't blind drew into that physical block, and the wall breaker is going to net him almost nothing this combat, so I'll stick by my assessment, but he drew well enough that it didn't matter. Yeah, we're not sure what Justin's got going on, but Jordan is stare-downing something.
Please switch it.
Table cam, other hand cam.
Table cam.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware, we're off-site. Brian Valdez has been
3 hours off-site.
awesomely gracious enough to man things on the California front and set up the gear.
Apparently his flight got canceled, so he got in like super
Oh
late.
shit!
So yeah. Which I
even better, even more,
chat,
more props to Brian for being
guessed, like,
an awesome dude then and pulling it out. Yeah, way to go, sir.
Applause.
Yeah, we're just here giving our thoughts on the action, but he's doing the hard work on site. So, all glory to Brian Valdez. And here comes a super hot supernova, and he finally secured that level. So things might start to turn around for Jordan a little bit. That supernova hit clean. That's helping close the left card gap.
Super Saiyan, super hot supernova.
And so I believe Jordan is just left with that wall breaker, right? Which again, what he really would have wanted at this point in the combat is any black card, or another decent action, and the wall breaker is neither of those. So, if Justin chooses to mastery in the exact game state we're in now, it won't matter a ton, but we shall see. Still not sure what the rest of Justin's hand composes. So you have 2 cards left? Oh, almost got a peek.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a blinding. Oh, because he stole the ball.
Right, he's critting with the supernova. Stacking some endurance.
Woohoo! Endurance is fun.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna, as soon as this round ends, I'm gonna run out of this room and try to get our other setup finished, and then we'll pivot to that because my desktop computer is not obliging. But luckily, I don't think we missed much because he was still, Jordan was still,
Searching.
looking hard with ball 7. So
I'm gonna post just in case the link to the raw footage because we don't have links enabled for.
Oh sure.
Is it on the website?
I I'm not sure. We'll find it after if we don't have it right now, but still try to focus on this match for the moment until... Again, apologies for technical difficulties. I'm going to do a lot of diagnostics on that fucking computer after this is all over, but for the moment, we just want to bring you as much content as we possibly can. Keep us posted in the chat if anybody has other issues. Right now, it looks like we're good.
Are you got it saved in your tab?
And Jordan entering combat here.
Alright, yeah, again, we're...
Looks like Justin landed a ball 2 while we were out, which is super good for him. Jordan entering...
Super rough for Jordan.
Right, entering, visiting for a stare down, putting back something. Probably not that time, but who can say? Double count, see where we're at. Life deck wise.
Everybody's using these black sleeves today, my god. Well, all coolers have been using these sleeves.
I believe Justin said 24. I didn't quite catch Jordan's count, but I bet it's ever so slightly less than that. So visiting complete, 1 supernova, just to put it at the bottom. You know, that's fine. I suppose. He's not quite in such dire straits life card-wise. I don't think that he would have had to do that now. So I might have kept it in the discard. But, you know, maybe he wants to dodge, you know, targeted, like, swipes and stuff. Like, he just wants to get it in the life deck period, which is fine. Justin's going to heal his suite of supernovas. And draw. Jordan stare downs into a pretty defensive hand, but that'll be much less defensive if he targets the energy move, which would be my guess. Yeah, why wouldn't he? And just like that, this combat became pretty scary for Justin. I very much doubt it will be a game-ending turn, especially since we know some of the contents of Jordan's hand aren't going to push too hard. Like, he's got that time. He's got some defensive stuff. So we'll see ultimately who comes out with a slight lead in this combat by the time it ends. Because it could still very well be Justin on that rejuve alone, and if Jordan can't really, like, push any any significant life card damage or maintain some more anger. But that'll do both, so... Say, yeah, he did not crit through damage, but he's using the effects to crit ball 2. And so just like that, when you combine the damage and the level down and like every single thing that happened in that action, they're probably close to neck and neck at this point.
Yeah, looking at the piles. Mastery.
Yeah, double pass. So that was a super good combat for Jordan, but Justin is leveling to level 2 again. So he will have the advantage coming into the next turn, because once again he secured a level that Jordan hasn't. But life deck wise, I bet they're almost even. Like, Jordan might even have a slight lead at this point.
Burst, and I couldn't quite tell what that
We're about to find out.
last card is.
19 Justin, 21 Jordan. So yes, he has an ever so slight lead. I think it's Tug.
Oh, it's a chin kick.
Yeah, Tug, Chin Kick, and Defensive Burst. I like keeping the Defensive Burst there, mostly just because at this point it's about pushing life card damage, period. And coming in with Defensive Burst and Cooler's Power can push a lot of life cards that will be probably not that easy to stop at this point of the game, physical block-wise on Jordan's side. And defensive burst can still stuff some of his attacks, like on hit. So it's got that going for it. So I super like keeping that card in this situation.
Jordan did the opposite, keeping an energy web.
Right. Similar but different card.
Oh.
I don't love energy web in black cooler builds. I haven't seen that many that run it. Like, it's definitely not a bad card, but it's one of those things where gotta find that space somehow. So Justin passing again, losing the defensive burst and the corruption. Did not see what he kept. Did you catch his last card?
I think it might be a stare down.
Okay, I mean, that's never a bad thing. If he had a stare down, I have no clue why he wouldn't have entered that turn. That seemed like as good a time as any to try to make a definitive stand and put this one away. Like, I strongly disagree with passing there if his last card is a stare down. His hand would have been just fine. And Jordan's coming in. Energy web is blocked, I believe, by a corruption. Yeah, because it lowered his anger. And there's the stare down. So yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see what comes of this combat. But Justin very well could have put the game away last turn.
Or did he have another? He's got another corruption. Did he draw 2 or something?
I'm not sure with the way the camera position was at the time. It's hard to tell, but let's see. Yeah, he totally did. All right. Okay. That's a little nuts. Cooler power. Discarding corruption for additional mill. Drawing into something cool, probably. That's about as cool a thing as he's going to get at this point.
Or is it
I think you're right, but we'll know in a second. Yep, Jordan passes, and there's the supernova. Yeah, that's going to be game. Supernova that will hit clean, that is securing a level 3 power. And just like that. Oh, and he's rejuving a visiting for getting level 3, which is fine. I don't think he's going to need it at this point. Yeah, and that's the game. Oh, good deal. All right. Well, that's round 2. Well played by both players. Again, mirror matches are tough to deal with, but whoever levels first and maintains that level consistently is going to win. Right, 9 times out of 10. So yeah, Justin secured a level first and then maintained his advantage. So good on both players. Again, sorry about hiccups. I'm going to duck the hell out of here and see if I can't get our second setup running to try to mediate issues coming down the line. So Lorraine is going to stay in the chat. If the stream goes down before the next round, it's probably because I'm shifting over. So we'll keep you updated in the chat. Keep an eye on the chat.
YouTube stream up too.
And we'll be back for round 3. So stay tuned.